Trade Union Federation Saftu says the number of protesters exceeded its expectations today. Tens of thousands of members took part in marches in cities across the country. Slindelo Masikane was our eyes and ears on the ground here in Johannesburg. She joins us now in this studio. Evening, Slindelo. Now, I'd imagine Saftu is patting itself on the back, happy with the turnout.
Indeed. In Johannesburg, we saw a major turnout. The workers came out in their numbers to support the strike. I mean, we had, of course, NUMSA as the big affiliated to Saftu. Really,
not only Saftu's biggest affiliate.
Yes,
the biggest,
definitely in South Africa.
In the country, yeah.
They really mobilized, and we had people coming in trains, public transport. Of course, we have an ongoing bus strike, so it really did delay the proceedings, but it did not deter anyone from coming out to the CBD today.
Any reported incidents? I know, a lot of stores in the Johannesburg CBD were closed, but any reported incidents?
Not at all. I had a conversation with the police's Lieutenant K. Makubele, and he says they're quite impressed, in fact, with how it was very organized. There was no incident of violence, no arrests at all. In fact, they are calculating at around plus minus 15,000 people that were out on the streets today, and with no incidents of violence at all.
Now, all their speakers came down hard on President Cyril Ramaphosa. Any idea why?
Indeed, for Saftu and their members and the workers, they say Cyril Ramaphosa and his government have in fact continued to exploit workers, and they want to do so by implementing this 20 Rand per hour minimum wage. We actually saw many people having 20 Rand notes actually stuck onto them and, held on forks, and we saw placards of Cyril Ramaphosa with, devil horns and being labeled an agent. They're saying that this ANC government is just continuing to exploit workers and protecting white monopoly capital, and actually being the supervisors of white monopoly capital if they implement this 20 Rand minimum wage. They've also said that for them 12,500 is the minimum, because workers in Marikana died for a 12,500 Rand minimum wage.
Well, it wasn't only the president, of course, who came under attack. COSATU too came under attack.
Indeed. We actually, towards our last stop, we went past COSATU House, and the chants just got louder and louder, saying, you know what, we're not scared of what we're doing here. They were busy singing, saying things are going to change, pointing to COSATU and saying that these are sellouts, actually, and that for them to say that 20 Rand per hour is a start is actually quite ludicrous. They're saying that COSATU is not actually standing up for workers' rights. It's up to Saftu now to take up the plight of workers and to protect the right to strike, basically, which is what the strike was also about. Basically, they're saying the talks between COSATU and NEDLAC around this 20 Rand minimum wage, rather, are null and void, because they do not basically represent the workers' voice. They're saying COSATU does not represent the workers' voice anymore.
Now, going into today's protest actions, of course, Saftu had promised that this won't be a one-day affair. Have they given any details as to what is going to happen next? Now, where to from here?
Not at this stage. All they've done is promise that there is going to be continued rollout mass action against this proposed minimum wage. They're saying, actually, when I attended the NUMSA briefing yesterday, they said if they have to go to court as a last resort, they will do so. So we can expect to see lots of strikes and marches maybe throughout this year. In fact, when I was looking at some statistics, right before any kind of general election in any country, you see the labor unions and the labor movement kind of coming out to voice their frustrations with the current administration. So we must expect massive protests and rolling mass action for most of this year, in fact.
Slindelo Masikane, that's where we're going to leave it for now. She was, of course, our eyes and ears here in Johannesburg.